The Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge, also known as the New Cooper River Bridge, is a cable-stayed bridge over the Cooper River in South Carolina, connecting downtown Charleston to Mount Pleasant. It opened in 2005 to replace the Grace Bridge and the Pierman Bridge, two obsolete cantilever truss bridges. It was built using the design-build method and was designed by Parsons Brinckerhoff.
South Carolina is a southern state of the USA. It borders Georgia to the south and North Carolina to the north. One of its most remarkable cities is Charleston, which is known as the Holy City, due to the presence of many churches on the low-rise cityscape, particularly the numerous steeples which dot the city's skyline. 15% of Charleston's territory is covered in water, since their landscape features lakes, rivers, and creeks all around. The city is located on a peninsula at the point where, as the people from Charleston say, the Ashley and the Cooper rivers come together to form the Atlantic Ocean. Charleston is a famous tourist destination. Its main attractions are the historic sites and the typical southern plantations. Along the waterfront line, in an area known as Rainbow Row, are many beautiful and historic pastel-colored homes. This scenery has been used as settings for many fictional stories, as Alexandra Ripley's novel Scarlet, the sequel to Gone with the Wind, and the 2004 movie The Notebook. Among this background is where the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge stands, connecting downtown Charleston with Mount Pleasant, a suburban town to the east.
It was built because of the major deterioration of the two truss bridges, which were useless after 1979. Also, three of Charleston's four shipping terminals are situated up the Cooper and Wando rivers, and the limited bridge clearance excluded the access of ships that would otherwise be beneficial to the economy of South Carolina. Now that the old bridges are disassembled, the world's largest modern container ships are able to access all terminals of the nation's fourth largest container port. Raising financial support for a new 8-lane bridge over the Cooper River was a struggle 20 years in the making, prolonged by the state's insistence that it could not afford such bridge and by Charleston's reluctance to provide any funds for the project. Several proposals were made for a toll bridge, but the mayors of Charleston and Mount Pleasant objected. When officials revealed in 1995 that the Grace Bridge scored 4 out of 100 for safety and integrity, retired U.S. Congressman Arthur Ravenel Jr. ran for the South Carolina Senate with a goal of solving the funding problem. He helped establish the SC Infrastructure Bank and worked with local, state, and federal officials to create partnerships that helped to materialize the final funding.
Even though the designing of the bridge was assigned to Parsons Brinckerhoff, the final version was the result of their work with the world's leading bridge and lighting designers. Firms like Donald McDonald, known from their work in projects in the U.S. as the Oakland Bay Bridge East Span in San Francisco, collaborated with the project. Another firm, Buckland and Taylor Ltd., whose projects are featured all around the world, like the Ramite Bridge in Bangkok, Thailand, helped oversee the construction. Curiously, this firm also provided assistance in the review of substructure construction on the second Orinoco River Bridge on Puerto Ordaz, Venezuela. The bridge design was also the result of public input, since through several hearings the local public chose the Diamond Tower design from other options. In the same way, a campaign was started to add a pedestrian and bicycle component into the bridge design. The campaign asked the public to send letters as testimony and even put bumper stickers on their cars, so local architects, city and town officials were enlisted to aid the bridge designers in redefining the final design to attend to local needs while staying within the available budget. Charleston's new bridge is a cable-stayed suspension design with two diamond-shaped towers, each soaring to a height of 175 meters. The total length of the structure is 4 kilometers, with the main span stretching 471 meters between the towers. 128 individual polyethylene wrapped steel wire cables anchored to the side of the diamond towers suspend the 57-meter deck above the river. The roadway consists of 8 lanes, 4 in each direction.
The bridge superstructure is designed to withstand shipping accidents and the natural disasters that have plagued Charleston's history. The span is designed to endure wind gusts and to withstand an earthquake to approximately 7.4 on the Richter scale without total failure. To protect the bridge from uncontrolled ships, the towers are flanked by 1-acre rock islands. Any ship will run aground on the islands before it can collide with the tower. Planning started in 2001 under Palmetto Bridge's construction. By the summer of 2002, the foundations for the towers and most of the piers were in place and the rock islands were completed. The steel and pre-stressed concrete towers began to ascend from the islands soon after. The fast-paced construction schedule led to contractors to use a self-climbing forming system to build the towers. The self-climbing system meant that the tower cranes did not have to spend time raising the forms after each segment of concrete hardened, and instead could be better used to haul materials from barges below. The first cables were hung from the towers in 2004 as a time-saving measure. This was done before the towers were wholly completed. Sections of a precast pre-stressed concrete deck were built outward from each of the towers as more cables were hung. The decks of the approaches were taking shape as well. Construction of part of the roadway actually occurred over the top of the old cantilever bridges, which remained open to traffic without interruption. A ceremony was held March 2005 when the last slab of the deck was added, thus making the bridge complete. But paving, installation of light and signs, and cleanup meant that the bridge would not be open for another 4 months. Following a week-long celebration that included a public bridge walk, concerts, diners, and fireworks, the bridge was dedicated and opened on July 16, 2005, 1 year ahead of schedule and under budget.
The bridge increased the capacity of the US 17 highway over the Cooper River to function with the area's population growth. It improved traffic safety by meeting current design standards and eliminating substandard safety factors. It also reduced the cost of maintenance activities that were necessary because of the age and design of previous bridges. The new design's increased height allows taller ships to go under it, and the longer span between the piers can accommodate more ships to go through at the same time. Being such a magnificent monument above Charleston's low-rise skyline, the bridge has become both a reference point and an icon for the city. Several celebrations like the 4th of July are held in the bridge, which closes for these occasions. To further supplement this use, the foundations from the old permanent bridge were reused to build a public pier known as the Mount Pleasant Memorial Waterfront Park, where pedestrians can go fishing, sightseeing, have picnics, and do other outdoor activities. The pier also withholds several patriotic monuments as statues, fountains, and the states and the US flag.